What's up, guys? Josh here at Fogelitis today, and it is the morning. I am about to go do my cardio. I am trying the new flavor of Alphamine, the margarita flavor. Now, I'm not really sure exactly what margaritas are supposed to taste like, but it tastes like a melted green icy you would get from 7-Eleven that you left in your car, melted, and then you add ice to it. It tastes just like that, so it's pretty awesome because I really like ices in general. So today's video, what you're about to watch after this and the training clips, I will be discussing training volume, exercise selection, things like that, just because, I don't know, I find it very interesting. I get a lot of questions about it, so I figure it would be pretty helpful. Also, my friend Tyler, who is filming right now, he came over and I had ice cream in my freezer, which was this Breyers M&M. And it's been in there for months, and he really wanted to eat it, but it's expired, and I can't do that. It probably should be thrown away, but I haven't thrown it away yet. And yes, if you like Breyers, don't buy this flavor because it's absolutely horrendous. Actually, it's not bad because Breyers chocolate ice cream is good, but they advertise it like there's a bunch of M&Ms in there, and there's not at all. They actually give you the most poverty amount of M&Ms they could possibly give you, and it's just like a really big buzzkill. It's a letdown because you're expecting like 2 bags of M&Ms worth in here, and they give you like barely even a handful in your ice cream. It's just annoying. If you like ice cream and you like Breyers, stick to the strawberry cheesecake or the birthday cake one. I'm about to throw this away because it shouldn't be in my house anymore. But yeah, guys, enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What's up, guys? In today's video I'm going to be discussing something I get questioned on a lot, which is going to be more like exercise selection, sets, reps, and determining like what to do and how much to do of each. And just saying these are my opinions on the subject. I'm sure there's lots of ways you can choose different exercise selection. I know there's a lot of people who have articles out there on doing so. Like I said, these are just my suggestions, so thanks for watching and hope you enjoy the video. So first, I like to ask how beneficial to the overall growth of the muscle I'm working is the exercise going to be. So in turn, is this exercise really going to help me grow in the way in which I want it to? And a good example of what I mean by this is if I want to get my lats to just be wider, what would be best? Would I rather do a pull-up or would I rather do a row? Rows work your lats, and they also work other muscles in your back, but doing a pull down is going to work the lats strictly through its full range of motion, which is going to be in turn a better choice for lat width and lat development. So I would say that pull downs or pull ups or pullovers in terms of lat width would be a superior choice to a row. Now, I'm not saying rows are not good back exercises, but like for the way I would choose an exercise is if I'm looking for width, I would not do rows first. I would put more emphasis on something like a lat pull down. And same thing with, say, if a girl wanted to get her glutes bigger, you know, squats are a great exercise, but if she's already quad and ham dominant and wants more just glute focus, you could do something like the glute bridges and hip thrusts, which are going to be a lot more directly targeting the muscle that he or she would want worked. So that's one of the ways I choose exercises. Another one is I'd ask myself, is there any benefit to doing an exercise this way? Like example, doing curls with a Bosu ball. Yeah, you're going to get other muscles activated in there. You know, you're going to help with core stability and other things. But the muscle you actually want worked is going to not be worked out as hard because, number one, you're stabilizing yourself on top of a half rubber bouncy ball, and you're not going to be able to curl as heavy. You're not going to be able to get as much volume in, which isn't going to result in as much growth than if you weren't on top of that stupid little Bosu ball. And you just look like an idiot doing so. So there's really no point in doing that because you're decreasing your volume and you're decreasing the total time under tension that the muscle needs in order to grow. So I also, in terms of like my exercise choices, I'll think, is there a better way I can do this exercise to hit the targeted muscle? Say if I want to hit my shoulders and I want to get my shoulders bigger, I could do things like a clean and press or clean and jerk, and I'm going to get really good shoulder involvement in there. But if I were to do something like a standing shoulder press, push press, or seated shoulder press, I'm not going to be as tired out as quickly from pulling the bar from the ground all the way up into a shoulder position to then where I get shoulder activation, rather than I just start with direct tension on the shoulders, which, like I said previously, is going to put a greater amount of volume and total time under tension on the muscle that I want worked. So, I also, another thing I get asked about a lot is going to be sets and reps, and is there like a best rep range for people to be using? And really the answer is no. You should really kind of be using all rep ranges, even especially if you're a bodybuilder. You want to utilize everything you possibly can, and that's going to be even the higher rep ranges, working on that mind muscle connection. Isolation training is going to be very important, and other intensifying methods that you can use inside your training to get the most out of it. And I know personally, one of the things I've started doing that Matt showed me, my coach, is the rest pause technique. And especially right now when dieting on a lot lower calories, it's excellent to keep strength progression as well as get more volume out of a workout is going to be from the rest pause sets. And I really like incorporating these into my workouts. I love them. You get super pumped, and you really only do one actual working set, but the intensity is so high in there that you can put everything you have into that one working set without absolutely draining yourself via like 4 sets of 10, in which for the rest of your workout, you're pretty fatigued after doing 4 sets of 10 as like a starting exercise. And just getting that total volume in there, that time under tension, it really comes into play. And when we're talking about lifting heavier weights for people in terms of growth, this is also something that like similar to like the dog crap method of training, and it's based on the principle that the person who makes the most strength gains over time, notice how it's strength gains, not whoever is the strongest at a given time, usually has the most muscle size as well. And this shows, and though it kind of shows in some studies, that when volume is equated, that for like a 3x10 versus a 6x3 program, when volume's equated, that the lower, heavier rep ranges get you as much hypertrophy as the higher rep range, but you also get stronger from it. So in turn, that extra strength is going to be putting a lot more load and tension on the muscle over time, because you're going to be able to keep progressing up in that strength, which is going to eventually be able to cause more growth from it. So that's kind of like a whole method, a dog crap method that I implement in my training, and I absolutely love it, and it's been working great so far. So in a program, how does one go about setting all this up? For beginners or people who only train once a week or only have the option to train once a week, I would say start with like a heavier compound lift at the beginning. Really focus on this as like a main driving strength factor, and work to really overload this each week, either by adding reps or adding weight to it. 2.5 pound plates and micro plates can really become your friend here, because you really want to strive for that progressive overload on these, but just every exercise in general too. But more specifically, I would say like your main lift at the beginning, and then follow that by more isolation exercises, different variations of other exercises that you may be doing. So for more advanced lifters who train multiple times a week, I would say do something more like the fat style training and get a higher frequency in your program. Train a body part 2 to 3 times a week rather than just once a week, because the more experienced you are in the gym, the faster the rate at which protein synthesizes, and you're able to train more frequently and still get growth from it. So it's pretty cool. And I mean, if you really want to maximize the amount of muscle you put on, I would say do everything you can that the literature shows in order to do so. And high frequency training is one of the main things that shows growth in people who are advanced athletes. And I would really suggest starting this in your training. You know, like I said, the fat, look it up online. I mean, it's a really good program to start with. I've done it myself. I've worked with modified fat programs, and I just saw really, really good results from doing so. You know, for people who are on plateaus, you know, try training your arms. If you're up to twice a week, maybe add an extra day. You know, train them smart though. Don't just go in and just absolutely kill them till complete failure each time, but go in, get good stimulation, get an increase in volume. That's why tracking volume becomes very important, because you can keep increasing your volume every time you go in the gym, and do so in an intelligent manner. So that's pretty much what I would suggest in terms of exercise selection and kind of just different rep ranges and stuff. So wrap up, really select the exercises that are really going to help you reach your goal in the most effective and intelligent way. You know, hit exercises from multiple angles, train heavy, always focus on progressive overload, and you know, as you begin to train for a longer period of time, really increase that frequency, help you break out of plateaus, and just kind of keep the gains coming. So hope this video was helpful, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know in the box below, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Have a good one, y'all.